Welcome into WagerTalk TV. We're talking the NFL here. Atlanta Falcons, Indianapolis Colts. We got Ralph Michaels and Teddy Covers. And Ralph, we got the Atlanta Falcons here. Catching 2 on the road, total of 47. You interested in getting involved with the Colts and the Dirty Birds?
Well, first thing I'm going to say is the Colts D-line has impressed the heck out of me, having 4 sacks each of the first 2 games. You go on the road twice and you have 4 sacks in each. That's a positive performance. I wasn't sure. To me, Atlanta seems to be the better team to me. So, I went to my database and looked up some situations. And you tell me, Teddy, I know we like to banter back and forth on how meaningful stats are or how meaningful a trend or an angle is. So I'm gonna give this angle out, and I'm gonna throw it to you. The Falcons are 4-12 ATS their last 16 road games. That's just a fact. They went on the road. But when they're on the road and they score 21 or fewer points, they're 2-29 against the spread. When they're on the road and they score 22 or more points, they're 32-8 against the spread. Now, is that most teams score 21 or more on the road or win? Or do you think it's the Falcons' defense keeping them in the games? And when Atlanta scores 21 or less, they're 2-29 against the spread. When they score 22 or more, they're 32-8 against the spread on the road.
So in terms of the pre-Dan Quinn numbers, I don't care. In terms of the current
and I don't have those for you. I have a sample size.
But the broader sample size, I'm sure, is reflected with the league. When you score 21 or less on the road, you're going to lose the vast majority of your games. And when you score 22 or more, you may not win at that rate. But you're going to be a positive ATS team.
No argument with that. Yes.
I'm pretty confident of that. All that being said, the nuances of this matchup are really interesting because here's Indy coming off these 2 tough down to the wire. One went to overtime, one went to the last play. Against and came away with a 1-1 split on the road. I too was very impressed with Indy defensively. It's certainly. The game against the Chargers, they got gashed a little bit, but I thought they made excellent adjustments. And then last week, the defense looked really good, and they were great on third downs. But that defense has a crucial piece that could be missing. And, of course, as we're shooting the video, we don't know, and that's Darius Leonard, the Pro Bowl linebacker who is as good a defender as I've seen, who gets no hype. He was a rookie last year, and he was just silent, and he's incredible. He had 18 tackles last week. He's in the concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to play. And that's one of those injuries you absolutely have to pay attention to. And the market's even paid attention to it a little bit. Atlanta was in the 2.5 range, and now it's down to 2. There was a tick when that was announced. But I like Indy. They passed both eye tests. They passed the defensive eye test and the offensive eye test in their first 2 games with Brissett. Brissett is not Andrew Luck. The offense is not as good as it was going to be, but Marlon Mack's a beast, and the offensive line is capable of protecting him, and he's okay. And there's nothing I like about Atlanta. I watched both games, and I mean, they were able to win last week because they had the right play call, and it was well executed against an all-out blitz. And they got Julio Jones on the outside, and he was gone. Yeah, and that's what they can do. Yeah. They have that big play capability. Ridley has it. Jones has it. They got big.
They have the star power. I mean, they have Matt Ryan. They have the name recognition. Plus the fact, playing devil's advocate, the defense. Carson Wentz looked kind of all over the place on Sunday night. I thought that they played pretty well against the pass.
Well, you have his top 2 receivers. That matters.
One thing too that benefited Matt Ryan was Jim Schwartz sent 10 all-out blitzes. He got eaten up the first few, so it took him that many times to adjust. I do have a question for you. How much of it is a concern if you're an Indy backer with Vinatieri?
I think it's a concern. Plus, Bosher, the punter for the Falcons, he had injury too. There could be
the groin injury. Yeah, he struggled. But you have Vinatieri struggling. It's in his head. Yes, he's coming back home, but
home dome.
Okay, that was my question. He said I'm going to get it straight this
week. He's got the demons. You don't want the kickers
right?
with the demons.
Got
exactly. So maybe Indy money line. You let that mixed extra point.
You're going to miss an extra point somewhere,
won't
right?
Kill you, exactly.
Will there be a missed kick by Indy? Yes or no?
But there's something to be said for that. When I'm laying, if I have a choice between laying 1.5 or 2, those 2 in particular in the NFL, I will lay the money line because I don't want funny business in those games. You know what I mean? And you see, it happens all they're laying 1.5, they win by 1. Happened last week with Iowa State, Iowa. Laying 1.5, they win by 1. You see, it happens to me far more often than statistically, and maybe it's just because I notice it, but That's what I like to do personally in this point spread range.
Great stuff from Teddy Covers on Twitter at Teddy_Covers and Ralph Michaels on Twitter at CalSportsLV. Guys, WagerTalk TV users get $25 in wager bucks added to your account after your first purchase at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com.